Welcome back everybody. This is part 2, day 2 of my how to dye a wig tutorial. I let this wig dry overnight. I'm actually going to spray it one more time with my blue dye. I want to separate these fibers a little bit, seeing how they've clumped together from being dyed, from the dye drying. I'm going to use a paddle brush just because it has wide bristles on it and it actually gets through tangles pretty well. I actually have another one that I use on my normal hair. When you start brushing your wig, you want to brush from the bottom up. If you brush from the top down, then what you're doing, if you have tangles here and you start up here, you're going to knot your wig all the way down. So if you have tangles, let's say you have tangles here and you start from the bottom up, you're just slowly grabbing those ends that are tangled and pulling them down. That way you run less of a risk of damaging your wig from yanking. And this isn't real hair, so the hairs on the wefts will not grow back. Okay, now, like I did with the first dyeing session that I had, I'm going to separate my wefts. I did a few at a time, and I'm going to spray them again. I finished applying the dye the second time, and the reason why this is on the floor is because I like to do the inside of the wig at the edges where the wig cap is, where I can't really get while it's on the wig head, and I also turn it over like this and make a dent where my head would be. So and then I like to spray it again like that. The reason why I do this is because I find that if I just try to dye it on the wig head, that the ink does run down the length of the wig, and then I get more concentrated color at the tip of the wig. You might not be able to see it on the video. So to ensure that I get that same color that's at the tips on the top, I do this to kind of let the ink pool in that area. Now the blow dryer I have is just a standard cheap blow dryer. It has hot and low. It also has this nice little cool button that basically turns the heat source off and just the normal air blows through. So it's a fan basically. Since this wig isn't a heat resistant wig, I'm going to hold this, I'm going to leave it on high, but I'm going to hold it far away, so when the heat actually hits this wig, it's not going to be hot enough to melt it. Now if you want to get in close, normally that's something I just do for styling, not necessarily drying a wig that I'm dyeing, is I'll turn it on high or low and hold this cool burst button here. That way I can get close to the wig and use the strongest air current that's coming out of here, which is close to the mouth of the blow dryer, without running the risk of melting and damaging my wig. Okay, now that our ink on the wig is pretty dry, we're going to start rinsing it off. You want to make sure you use cold water, because warm or hot water may actually loosen and lift up the dye, and you'll basically waste all the work that you just did. Okay, so the water is running clear now, so that means all the dye residue is now out of this wig. I'm gonna towel dry this, just laying it on a towel. Then I'm gonna roll it up and press on it to get the excess water out of it, and then I'm going to blow dry this and see what color I actually have. This is actually darker than the finished color probably is because it's wet still. So to get the true color, I'm going to blow dry this and see how it actually looks. After rinsing my wig, I blow dried it. Took about 5 to 10 minutes to get the whole wig dry. This is the color that resulted in the 2 dyeing sessions I did. While I do like it, I feel a little too much red still shows. So I'm going to dye this at least one more time, rinse it, and blow dry it again, and see how everything turns out. This wig is all done dyeing. This is 3 dyes total. I'm really happy with this color, and in the next vid I'm going to show you guys how to style this wig into Prince Selma from Black Butler.